My name is Emmanuel Nolasco. I'm from Columbia, Missouri in the United States. I've been in Taiwan for a little over 9 months, and I currently live in Guting. In terms of the places I've been to some of the nearby locations like the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall, as well as some of the local markets like even the Shida Night Market in Guting itself. Teaching English has always been a passion of mine since college. I specifically got my major in English with a emphasis in creative literature, and I figured this would help me promote myself as potentially an English teacher overseas. As for Taiwan, my best friend told me that the Taiwanese people are pretty cool, and he says I should definitely give them, both the country and their culture, a chance. So applying here, I immediately discovered Shane and all the opportunities it has, and so far I've been impressed. I've certainly considered moving to another country. Specifically, at one point in my life, I was determined to move to Japan. In fact, I studied Japanese for 3 years. So naturally, it begs the question, why Taiwan of all places? That's a drastic difference, even though it is somewhat nearby. And as for why Japan didn't work out, I saw more opportunities in Taiwan, especially with not knowing the culture or even the Chinese language. And I saw that as more of an opportunity to expand my knowledge. And so far, I've been impressed with what I've experienced. Well, this is my first professional job as a teacher, and certainly I was a little bit nervous and just curious as to what the future may hold. So I had a little hesitation, but I went in both feet forward, and fortunately I definitely gained a lot of knowledge and experience by working with Shane. I think the greatest aspect is being given several opportunities working with students of all ages and of all proficiency levels. And by doing that, it's helped me become more of an adaptive teacher, as well as providing the best effort that I can possibly. The biggest difference of living abroad versus living back home is certainly cost of living. And I'm saying this from the American perspective. But in America, actually, the cost of living is pretty high, especially depending on where you live. Now, I think the biggest difference I've noticed is out here in Taiwan, I actually dine out a lot. And much to my surprise, it has to do with culture. In fact, here, they actually encourage you to eat out because not only is it cheap, it's affordable, they don't even tip, and also the food is just amazing. And it's even pretty healthy considering the variety of food that you can find from all different cultures and the different tastes that you can try to impress your palate. So the best and worst things about living abroad. I'd say the best thing is really ultimately discovering yourself, realizing what your limitations are, and more importantly, discovering how you can overcome them. You don't even have to do this by yourself. You can find this encouragement either through your coworkers, through your friends, maybe even your family back home, or even your friends back home as well. It's really an opportunity for you to jump out of your own skin, so to say, and become an entirely different person. Now, at the same time, that can have a drawback in itself, because for some people, it's not easy making that new change, especially in the first few months that you're living overseas. So I would say the best thing you can do is really just try to look for the opportunities that may not normally come up to you, but you have to be proactive and find them yourself, because they're certainly there. One particular place I really love going to in Taiwan, as you will probably hear from many people, is a little place called Ximen. And what's great about Ximen is there's so much to do there, whether that's to see parts of Japanese culture or even Taiwanese culture. And specifically what I mean by that is they have everything from Japanese cartoons to the food and even Taiwanese food. And there are various stores there, whether you're trying to look for Nike or whether you're looking for dresses or even different clothing stores or tattoo parlors that you're not used to seeing. At the same time, what's wonderful about Ximen is they're famous for their movie block avenue, which has several theaters to go visit. So if you're trying to catch up on some of the latest movies, they're certainly available and at a great price. So I certainly recommend visiting Ximen at the earliest convenience. One thing that I would certainly do in Taiwan that I wouldn't do so much back home is traveling, actually. This isn't to say that there aren't ample opportunities to travel back in the US, but being that Taiwan is a substantially smaller country, things feel a lot closer. The transportation, public transportation here is certainly more convenient and affordable. It helps me travel to places that I've never heard of or would have thought of going to. but it turns out it's well worth the cost. You'll discover so much here and feel enriched for actually going to these places. So certainly traveling in itself is an opportunity I see more fit here in Taiwan than back home. I actually don't have plans of moving anywhere else. As crazy as it may sound, being here for over 9 months, I really love Taiwan. It's a pretty fascinating place. In terms of moving, I'm actually moving from my current apartment in Guting, and I'm moving to a nearby location that's just one stop away called Dingxi. And what's nice is throughout Taipei, or even Taiwan itself, there are so many stores and things to do that moving doesn't seem quite as a drastic event as it might feel anywhere else. So certainly I will definitely stay in Taiwan. As to how long, the rate things are going, I'm seriously considering living here indefinitely. Naturally, they have a 4 to 5 year program that foreigners can be eligible for a local resident status, and I might consider that first, but in the meantime, I figured I'll just take things as they go. The best advice I can give to anyone when they're considering moving to Taiwan is, first of all, make sure that you are independent and have a thick skin. Moving to an entirely different country all by yourself, you'll learn and discover new challenges that you could never have thought of or even considered, and in doing so, sometimes you might feel alone, especially in the beginning months. I'd say the best advice I can give is make sure before coming here that you can act independently, make decisions responsibly, and also know that there may be times when you do feel alone. Have ideas of how to combat that, whether that means have friends or family back at home that you can talk to, certainly become engaged and active within the Taiwanese culture itself. You can consider social programs or even opportunities that you see online or through any kind of apps to use in order to find these opportunities, or just simple social networking. You know, work with the teachers that you work with every day. Try to hang out with them if they can. Maybe meet their friends as well. Certainly reach out to the Taiwanese people. Don't be a stranger, and you will find those opportunities.